Hello, Carter Liston here. I hope everybody's enjoying their snow day. I'm very sorry that this is the third week in a row that we have canceled class. First one was a fire ban. Second one, a bunch of us had gotten corona. And now we have a snow day, if you want to call it that. More like an ice day, rather. But I thought I'd come out to Marymore Park just to show you guys what it looks like in the ice storm. Luckily the roads weren't too bad by the time I came out. It's around a little past 4 p.m. now. The only part of the road that was bad for me was on the bridges because of all that air flowing underneath it. But I'm out here right now walking up towards the creek where we have a rock path to access the owl's and eagle's nest. However, I came upon it and it is covered. The creek is super high today. The water level is very high and it's rapidly flowing from all the rain we've had. Beautiful sight though. I love the way that the trees are just covered with all the ice and the little icicle drippings. I've never seen this park this way before. It's unique. Anyways, I really wanted to show you guys all of the improvements that we've been making on our forts, especially yesterday. We just, I'm usually with the owls on Wednesday and Friday with Nora. We just fixed up our tarp just in time for the rain yesterday, which was a lot of fun. But I wanted to show you guys that and some methods of staying warm over there. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you guys will just have to stay patient and be surprised whenever you do come back in person. But I wanted to go over one method that I thought was super cool that I learned that I want to try out. It involves a space blanket and a large plastic sheet. And basically what you do is build a lean-to shelter and you build a fire. But before you light that fire, you have a large plastic sheet. It's pretty translucent, little see-through. You put that as your first layer, and then in the backdrop, so like you would be in this little hollowed out section with the plastic sheet in front, and the backdrop would be the space blanket with that mylar shiny silver coating. And that coating's really good for reflecting light. So basically what you do is whenever you light the fire in front of that, the fire will emanate that heat, and you're basically causing a greenhouse effect. If you think about plants in a greenhouse, how the sun comes in and it's all glass windows and that just penetrates and it gets very hot and traps that heat. Same exact thing with this shelter. Except it ups it a notch with that space blanket. It causes it to get even hotter by reflecting that fire heat. Video I saw, the temperature started at 26 degrees. He had a giant thermometer inside his little shelter, and after he had the fire going, it quickly got up to 80 degrees. So he basically created a sweat lodge, sauna type of situation. He went from shivering to being in luxury. But yeah, I'll take you on a little tour to see what you've been missing. Now, as you can see, the bridge has been swept away by all the rain we've been getting and how fast that creek stream has been going. This is the remnants of the bridge to Falcon's Forest right there, or Falcon's Nest right there. We just pulled off all these sticks to the side to save them, to put up the bridge when we knew for sure it wasn't gonna rain. But wow, the water level is impressive. Oh my goodness, I wonder if one of the other teachers started to build this. It's actually something I wanted to touch on. It's a good way to stay warm. It's called a debris hut, and you get your spine right here, one long sturdy stick, and you make all of your little ribs with smaller sticks that lean against it. And then what you'd want to do is just cover this whole thing with as much leaves as possible. Or perhaps in the winter you'd want to use juniper or some type of coniferous tree with the pine needles. But little hand hut. Imagine your body in there, if that's life size, your body heat would really rapidly heat up that little tight space, because all those leaves would provide insulation. And actually, fun little video I just watched, another trick to stay warm in the winter. If you have a little candle, you can light that and stick it in the snow and sit right behind the candle and pull a blanket underneath you. I think preferably wool. Cotton might be a little bit flammable, but wool blanket over there and trap that heat in, and just that small little flame would rapidly increase the temperature as well. I mean, there's lots of different methods and ways you can stay warm in the winter. Igloos would be a fun one to try if you live somewhere very snowy, or perhaps snowpocalypse 2 ever comes around and you guys get a lot of snow. That would be a good, fun thing to try. But I'm actually from Pennsylvania, up north in Pittsburgh is where I'm from and grew up. Yeah, but despite class being canceled, other than that, I am actually pretty pumped about the weather, just because I'm from Pennsylvania, way up in the Northeast. I grew up in a town near Pittsburgh. That's where I spent most of my life. So weather like this with freezing rain and snow on the ground, 30-degree temperatures, very normal for us. It's actually been in the negatives there this past week, and they've gotten tons of snow, but I just always had fond memories of the snow. This is very nostalgic to me. I would always snowboard and sled down this neighborhood hill that we had with my friends. We would have snowball fights and build forts and build snowmen. Or even just shoveling the driveway out of snow was sometimes tedious and hard work and annoying, because you had to shovel it to be able to use your car. But even that was fun activity. And I mean, up north they're just a lot more prepared for snowy weather. They have plow trucks that go out and clear the streets and spread a bunch of salt, and they're really on top of it there. I believe the piping's more insulated too, so you don't have to worry as much about your pipes bursting, especially not in 30-degree weather. Maybe once it gets down to the negatives, that becomes an issue. But yeah, I miss snowboarding. I would love to go up every winter. I'd get a season pass and just be on the trick parks, and that's something I miss about being here in Texas. But it's also why I love that this weather is here, just to remind me of those things. Winter and cold does not have to be a negative thing. You can always find the joy in life. But obviously be cautious and know how to survive in the harsh elements as well. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a beautiful sight to watch the sun reflect on those the icicles on the trees. And here we are, right back to the starting point where you guys would be getting checked in by your parents. And got our game field over here, covered in the snow. It's what we would have been playing in today. Hey guys, I wanted to show you this space blanket real quick. And also you can notice how red my hand's been getting from holding this metal phone on the walk while I've been videotaping. Definitely been losing a lot of dexterity in my hands, but wanted to quickly show you. This is what I was talking about earlier with that greenhouse effect. It's got an unravel space blanket. Some people call it an emergency blanket. And it's this. One, you could wrap yourself up in it to stay warm, but this could also be used as even for shelter, like in replace of a tarp. But this could also be used as the backdrop in that greenhouse effect, like shelter I was talking about earlier, where you have the plastic see-through sheet in front and the fire, and then that fire is just radiating that heat, and it's getting trapped inside and reflected by this space blanket. So just for your information, a lot of uses for this guy as well. There you have it, guys. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tour of what Marymoor Seawright Park looked like while you guys were out on the snow day. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and were explorative and feeling around and playing in the ice where it was safe to do so. Also wanted to point this out. You can notice ever so slightly that the middle of this is getting slushy. You can see it start to break, but the outer edges are still very much a puddle of water. It definitely takes time for larger bodies of water to completely freeze over, like even a pond. It takes several days at cold temperatures for it to freeze, and rushing water like the creeks that we saw earlier, that's usually not going to freeze over. That takes very extreme cold for running water to freeze. But I really hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and really hoping that all the elements align and that we are able to see you guys in person next week. With that, I am out.